Right now I'm going to look at assessment risk role play number 2, explaining risk. Whilst you're working through the client's needs review with the client, you've got to be careful and make sure as you're going through that you listen to what the client's actually saying to yourself, not rushing ahead. Make sure that as you're working through the document that you ask the client what is his or her views on risk, because a lot of people have different views on what's risk and what's not risk. You'll find a lot of your clients will have a different view on risk to what you think risk is. So make sure that you're constantly asking to clarify with them to make sure they're comfortable with the conversation that you're having. Also make sure that you, through the whole process, that you talking to your clients, that you explain to them there is no such thing as good or bad risk. Risk is really about what a person themselves is comfortable with. As I said before, we all have different levels of understanding of risk and we're all comfortable with different levels of it. And do not be surprised if you're seeing and talking to clients that we feel that 60, 65 and even older, some of those people still like to take risk, even though it's not advisable to recommend them into those areas, unless of course they're clearly asking for it. So understand there is no such set age barrier for whatever levels of risk. It's up to what individuals are comfortable with. Okay, another thing that you've got to do is explain to clients there are 3 real main types of investments, and each investment has a different level of risk associated with it. For an example, cash. We all know with cash you can put it away in a bank term deposit, you can put it away in a fixed deposit somewhere, or you can put it into bonds, and there's a whole range of other things you can do with cash. So that normally you would class as a low level of risk. Then you've got property, and as we know with property over the years has risen considerably, and it also can fall considerably as we currently experience in the current environment. So property can go up and property can go down. Shares have done well over the years as well, and there's different risks associated with different styles of shares. You have your blue chip shares, which is your large major companies, banks, etc. But as we've seen in the last credit crisis, it doesn't mean that those shares, blue chip, are the best investment, but blue chips do tend to offer, on an average, far safer investment for clients than, say, non-blue chip shares. But then you do have mining companies and a whole range of other investments that people like to invest in, but you must ensure that you let your clients know there are different types of avenues for them to invest their money in. One thing you must, as an advisor too, you must make sure that you ask sufficient questions of your client constantly as we're going through, to keep reinforcing, as I've said before, reinforcing for yourself and reinforcing for your client to understand, do they know what they're actually saying, what they're talking about in regards to their risk tolerance. And just as I say, it's really about you as an advisor reaffirming and reinforcing with them all about their tolerance to what level they want to go, because you do not want to be placing a person into an investment that they're not comfortable with, because they'll soon come back and cancel it, or they'll place it with someone else. Alternatively, you may find they want to take it litigation against you because you placed them into an area where they clearly told you they weren't comfortable. So make sure in the risk assessment process and explaining of risk to your clients, you clearly listen to what they are saying.